Arna Donnelly is a trainer on the rise. The Cambridge-based horsewoman has been making steady progress up the Trainers' Premiership in the last couple of seasons, and tonight on One, we find out where she's come from and where she'd like to end up in this great game of harness racing. Oh, Arna, thanks so much for taking out the time to have a chat to us at this beautiful property of yours here in Cambridge.
Yeah, well, not today probably. It's pretty wet, but yeah, no, it is a nice setup.
Let's talk about how you've got to where you are now. What about the early years for Arna Donnelly? What was school like? And of course, your father, pretty handy horseman in his own right.
School, yeah, I attended. No, I didn't really enjoy it, obviously, but I always wanted to be, at home doing the horses with Dad. And yeah, and Dad had a lot of horses. He raced a few early on, and nowadays just breaks them in. Yep. So yeah, no, we've had a pretty good setup from day one, and yeah, he got me hooked on it. So yeah. We're
talking about Brent Donnelly, of course, and he became famous. Well, he's broken in a lot of very good horses. One I know of course, being Just an Excuse, but he must have a fairly good knowledge and be pretty well respected to have broken horses in for many of the trainers that he has.
Oh, definitely. I think he's got a great rapport with a lot of trainers now. I think he does a few for Ken Brecken,
yep.
Stonewall Stard, Bunty Hughes, and yeah, when he can fit mine in, it's always handy too.
Fits yours in, does he? Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, you got to book them.
Yeah.
But no, he does a really good job with them, and we've got a good setup going. Like he breaks them in. They go to the paddock, and then next couple of weeks when they come back in, they go to him for a few weeks, and then he sends them down to me, and they're ready to go. So it's we've got a really good system going there.
You've got 60 acres here, is it?
50,
50?
Yeah.
Yep, 50. Okay, so it not only is where you have your own horses, and the ones you're in training, of course, are at the Cambridge Raceway, but you spell a few here as well? Yeah,
that's right. We have 50 acres and a lot of grazers, gallopers for John Bell.
Yep.
A lot of them here, and yeah, a few trotters of my own, and Matty White, he's got a few here as well at the moment. So yeah, it's a good setup, and probably pays a few of the bills at the other end. So yeah.
So you leave school, but you didn't go straight into the horses, did you?
No. Mum and Dad wanted me to get something behind me, and I had no idea actually what I was going to do other than horses. And anyway, so a friend of mine at school says, she's going to do this course at Polytech, and I sort of just tagged along with her, and I think I was there about 6 weeks. I just said, I can't do it.
Not your go?
Not my go, no. So that one flagged that, and straight into the horses.
Nikki Chilcott's, was that first up?
Yeah, it probably was. I went there. She didn't have many horses, so I sort of went between her and John Dickey. He was next door. We did a few weeks there and a few weeks back there, and and then Nikki's team grew, and so it was good, and got my juniors, and away we went. Yeah,
you've had a great relationship with her over a long period of time. Talking about your juniors, you drove close to 40 winners in that period. First winner, Alexandra Park.
Yep, first one Alexandra Park, La Tondina.
Yep.
So no, that was a really great night. I'll never forget that. So, then I don't know how many winners after that, but yeah, we had a good association.
And a lot of them were for her.
90% probably were for her. Her team grew, and so every time there was a junior driver race, we were always had one in it, so it was good.
Yep. First training success was in your last year as a junior.
Trial and Error.
Trial and Error.
That's
that was
him.
it. At the Manawatu, the mighty Manawatu.
It was, yep. I'd actually, when I come back from Aussie, I think, so I had a couple over there. But Trial and Error. I think a horse we bought for about $500 off Nigel Chalmers' father, if I remember rightly.
Yep.
And it was a Manawatu, was it, for him?
Yeah. So that was the start of you getting into training. Was it always on the radar, or was it a case of you got to the back end of your juniors and thought, well, what am I going to do?
Pretty much. It was just, at first I just had my licence, and wasn't really a great ambition to be a big time trainer like anyone. At least you want to start driving, and then when the driving didn't take off, obviously I thought, well, what am I going to do? And thought we'd have a crack at that. So here we are.
You mentioned Australia because you did spend some time over there with your then partner, your then fiance, Sean Ritchie, who, as we know, is a very talented thoroughbred trainer. And tell me about the experience over there and what that was like. And you kept your hand in harness-wise though, didn't you?
Yep, definitely. So we went over there, and we were at Rose Hill. Sean had sort of half a dozen gallopers. It was tough times, to be honest. I worked in Bankstown for a guy called David Caffin for a little bit. Then I ventured to Dick and Jenny Kane, and Dick was actually Olympic swimming coach, I think, from memory. He trained a lot of really good top swimmers over there, and so he had a few horses, and we used to pot around there. And then eventually I just went out, had a four or five of my own, and potted around. But I had to help to pay the bills. I had to work in the galloping stables.
Yep.
Before
Tell
work.
me a bit more about this.
So I used to, I did a couple of months for Chris Waller.
Yep.
Yeah, we were good friends with Chris and Steph. So 10 to 4 boxes, just settle up 1 or 2. And
10 to 4, that's late for him.
yeah, it is now. But no, I don't know why it was 10 to 4. It's when we started. So, and then I also did a bit for Frank Cleary, who was a barn next door. I used to work there till about 6:30, and then go do the trotters from there and off to the races or wherever we were going. So, it was long hours, but it was a good lifestyle. But it was tough. It was tough.
Sean trained about 25 or 30 winners there, and then you made your way back here to Cambridge. What were you thinking when you came back, and what did you hope that you were going to do? Or was it, again, just a survival pattern?
Pretty much. I think I drove 25 or 30 winners myself, and he trained. Yeah, he struggled getting the horses, so it wasn't easy. And we decided we'd come home and have a crack, and I think it worked good for him, and it's worked good for me. So
When you came back though, you bought a transporting truck, and you got into a bit of shoeing, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked for Nicky for a few years, and then when I went out on my own and left there, I got a truck and started doing. I used to sort of help Roger Villiger clinch when he was shoeing for Nicky, and then got the truck, and then sort of went to further the shoeing. I went up to Bernie Hackett's, and every Monday we used to go up there and shoe, and it was big long days, and
That's
it was
hard
good.
work. It's not easy work shoeing.
No, it's not, but it paid the bills, and we sort of he taught me a lot on that front, so it was really good, and then I managed to get a few stables around Cambridge to do, and and amongst a few horses as well. So.
How much has that helped you, particularly with the trotters and your current training regime, being able to, or knowing what to do around the shoes?
I still ring Bernie if I'm stuck, but massive help. Especially if you've got one and you want to change it, and then someone can't come and do it for you that day. It's really handy. One hook's one, you can just throw it back on. I probably don't do as many these days as I used to, or nowhere near as many actually. Tim Hall does most of my shoeing, and he does a fantastic job. We've had a lot of success. So I still keep my hand in and do 1 or 2, but I pretty much leave it to him.
Yep. You mentioned that it was a bit of a battle to get horses, and you sort of, for an 8 to 10 year period there, 1 or 2, 3 maybe winners a season, and then all of a sudden, from what I can see in the records, along came Ideal Success, and the success came with the Country Cup champion. Yeah, no,
he was a good little horse. I think he won 5 Country Cups one year, and sadly sort of got into the rating where he wasn't. Was going to struggle a little bit. I think he still raced I only had Jules run, a couple of Jules runs maybe, Auckland Cup, Messenger maybe, Taylor Mile.
Yep.
But he did a great job, and then Dad and Pete decided we'll send him over to Kieran Manning, so he went over there, and he did a really good job there too for them. So he's now one of those HRV retired
horses.
Horses now. So someone's riding him, and
Just what you needed to a horse like that to fly the flag. I think Wings on High came around about the same time.
Yeah, about the same time, maybe a year before.
Yep.
He was just unlucky the year that he was 3-year-old season. There were some good trotters that year. So, but he never disgraced himself either. So.
Is that the Royal Aspirations? Was that about their time? Or was
no,
it
a little bit before more
that?
the Habibti. All them Shimon.
Yeah,
Prime Power.
What a year.
What a year! I think he ran 5th in the Derby at Auckland.
Yes, yep.
He was beaten 25 lengths. But that was how good they were.
Yeah.
So
that was a terrific year for sure. Moving on from there, you seem to have this knack of getting horses from the South Island. We'll talk about one season in particular shortly, but I think No Way Else, did he come from the south?
Yep. He's been good friends with Terry and Glennis down there. They sent him up. I think he raced at Manawatu, and then I picked him up and brought him home from there. And the guy that owned him has been a really long supporter ever since. Actually, he sadly passed away last week. But his wife Audrey, she's still going to carry on, I think, with the horses. So he owns New York Minute as well. So yeah, I think we had Liberal Arden and Glenferrie Duster for that guy as well. So yeah, no, big thanks to Terry and Glennis. They've given me a few horses and owners as well too.
Yep. Owners are such a big part of the sport, and you seems to have developed, as some of them you've just mentioned there, a really nice bunch that are forever replenishing the stocks, if you like.
Yeah, they are. Like, Robert Simon with Pat and Charlie, then Young Conqueror and Rough and Ready. So yeah, and whatever, I can't even think of the other ones, but I know there's plenty that have come from down that way, and it's been really good.
Yeah, Rough and Ready's a horse I want to talk to you about. Well named, this horse.
Very well named.
Out on the track, often trying to put his head between his legs, and he can be a bit of a handful for drivers. I've talked to Todd about him a couple of times, but Alicia seems to have a really good rapport with him, and he's got a motor, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just seemed to have found that motor actually, but just of late, she gets on really well with him actually. He just really runs for her. He doesn't seem to throw his head around as much, and like he couldn't even win a race down at Palmy a couple of months back, and now he's winning at Alexandra Park. So I'm pleased he's repaid his faith in mainly Robert, because it was looking a bit grim there for a while. Yeah,
you're looking for those flagship horses, as we mentioned before, and along comes Double Rocket, and he certainly has put you, I'm not going to say in the position that you are now because of him, but he's definitely helped.
Oh, definitely, everyone would love to have horses like him, and he probably wasn't the top of his age group, but he was, he never really won a bad race, and he did a really good job, probably just COVID stuffed us up at the wrong time for him, and a few things went wrong after that, and that's put us right on the back burner. But hey, that's what happens. And
he went round in both derbies, didn't he? I think Ultimate Sniper won both of those, and he ran fifth in
he ran
both
fifth in both. Yep. He was just at the end of his tether for the Jewels. And he got pretty wound up that day, and it was just one of those ones you put a line through, and but he came back good from that. But as I say, COVID came, and that was.
Was that the main reason that you had to put him aside? Did he have any niggly problems as well, and how do you work through that?
No, so after COVID he came back, and then he sort of got like a low grade laminitis, and then he actually couldn't walk for probably 8 weeks. It was just terrible. Like we actually thought at one stage I might have to put him down. He was that bad. But anyway, bounced through it, and in hindsight I blame myself. I should have probably thrown him back in the paddock, but we pressed on, and just everything was just not right. So in the end we did throw him in the paddock. He's come back. He went a really good race first up, and his last two have been a little bit below par, but hopefully we're just on top of that now. And
is that just a fitness thing as much as anything, or the level that he's come back at? It's blimmin' hard when you've been going through the grades, let alone when you've had a break.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know, with a little bit of fitness and just hasn't just quite been right. So he's just probably won't race until in standing starts. He's a little bit of a rogue from them.
He has a bit of a challenge to get away, isn't he?
Yeah. So no, he'll probably wait till next week. Like there's a mile mobile, and that'll be look for that, and
more up his
alley.
Yeah. You came to the Addington Harness Jewels. That was huge to come to Christchurch. I mean, I know the day was terrible, but I know what that meant to you to pick up that placing. That was pretty cool.
It was, Like it was in the shadows. Ambakero. Yes. She was really unlucky, drawing one that day, and nothing went right for her. I think she still ran fifth, but the other little mare, she's she was a tough racehorse, and it was really good running third in that.
Going back to that discussion we were having before around some of those South Island horses, and no better example of that being exemplified in the 2018-19 season. You had Scott Phelan driving a lot for you then. I think he drove about half your winners for that season, but your Liberal Ardens, Bella Veloce, Pat and Charlie, who you mentioned before, they didn't just win a race, they won multiple races. And they won at regular intervals, which just kept your name to the fore. They were very important, weren't they?
Oh, definitely. Probably they came up at the right time over winter, where it's a little bit easier, and they just seemed to click up here, and we had a really good rapport with those horses. So, huge thanks to Terry and Glennis, because it was mainly them that sent them that way. So, bloody good.
So COVID hit. How did it affect the Arna Donnelly stable? How did you handle, well, first of all, you weren't able to race, but it put so many people on the back foot. How was it for you?
So personally, I actually enjoyed the break. we still had like 45, 50 horses here to feed every day, but if it was raining, you could do it later. There was no time frame. That was really good, not having to rush to get to the races, have the horses worked. So on a personal note, I thought it was really good. But then, a lot of staff and...
How many staff have you got?
I think there's about 4 of us full-time, 5 of us full-time, and a couple of part-timers. So
it's a decent operation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, a fair bit of time goes into everything. But, yeah. So, no, after COVID, it was, can people still afford to have their horse? And that was always a concern. But I think we actually came back bigger and better from that, to be honest.
Well, your record suggests that you have. You've had a record-breaking season this season. I think you're honing in on 40 wins. Are you a goal setter? Did you sit down at any point and go, right, we need to achieve this for us to stay viable? Is that?
I am a little bit of a goal setter. Like, I just like to go a few more winners than what you had the season before.
Yep.
I think if you set your sights too high, then the next season's even harder to beat. So, I did sort of set it around the 40 mark, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know that we can come up with it this season.
Pretty close.
We're pretty close, so near enough. But
been the season for the 4-year-olds for you, and we'll touch on how that's likely to progress into their 5-year-old season. But Kango, Taipo, New York Minute, to have 3 of those as competitive as they have been and as many races as they've won, that must have been beyond your dreams with those 3 horses.
Oh, absolutely. Still can't really believe it. Especially when you think back to when you started out and think, now you've got 30 odd horses in work, flat having 3 back then. So, they've just been fantastic horses to find, and really, really good.
Around Christmas time, 2 of them went to war a couple of times, Kango and Taipo.
Yep.
What's that like? What's that like watching a race when 2 of your boys are out there going at it?
Terrible.
Yeah.
It is, because and then you get people like yourself asking who's the better one.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I've told everyone I can't split them. They're both as good as each other.
And it's Taipo. Christians have time, comes strongly. Kango on the passing lane. Taipo, Kango, Christians have time. Taipo, Kango, Christians have time. A great battle, Taipo. Taipo too tough. Now I'd say Kango will get the big head in for second to make it an Arna Donnelly Quinella here.
Pretty special race, the race copy that one. I think it was the City of Auckland free-for-all where Kango finished second and Taipo was 4th. Mm-hmm. They both showed that night we are bona fide going forward Grand Circuit type horses. That race must have given you a lot of confidence.
Oh, definitely. I think it was their first race back too, from a bit of a lead up, and it was COVID again. Didn't have their regular drivers, so they, I think was it James and Todd McFarlane, they got thrown in the deep end, and so no, it was super. I was really wrapped with them.
All right, so Taipo basically had 1 or 2 more starts after that and got put aside. Mm-hmm. How's he, and what was the main reason for that? Had he just had enough?
No, something went amiss with him, and we ended up doing scintigraphy, and it turned out he's pulled like a muscle over his back, right up where the vertebrae kind of joins in. He had to have a fair bit of time off. Big rehab program with him, which Alicia did most of that with him. She took him home and had to walk over poles and do all this,
right.
stuff to get him right. And now he's back in work, and he's just started hobbling actually. So
bigger, stronger.
Yeah, really good. So yeah, touch wood, we're on the right track with him.
Yep,
Kango. So he had 3-4 weeks off after the Jewels. Back in now, and he had his
disappointing
first hobble.
that day.
Just
what were your expectations? Did you really think the way he'd won, of course, at Cambridge? He led from near the outside, albeit down in grade.
Yeah.
But he had the right barrier draw, you probably thought, and then things changed completely after 100 metres.
Oh yeah, I sort of thought that other horse would cross us. He's got a lot of speed. I knew he'd hand. When he came off the fence, gets 1-1 behind Barry's horse, I thought perfect. Perfect for him. And then Laver just went such a great race. Just never let us out.
Yep.
He's gone to the line like that, and what do you do?
Racing, isn't it?
That's racing. It wasn't like he dropped out, so he was still hard on the bit at the line, and just turn the page. And
so that was a low in the race and the high of Alicia in New York Minute.
Awesome for her,
Yeah,
second or third group drive, and gets 4th, so great little horse.
So she's got a year to go in her juniors.
Alicia? She's got a year to go. So
she's certainly very good around the horses, and like all of your staff, I'm sure you value them very much.
Oh, definitely. Like she's fantastic. She works really hard. Doesn't matter if I ask her to stay late or do anything. There's not, she's brilliant like that, and she just loves the horses too. So the horses run for her. So yeah, it's good to be able to put her on as many as I can. But yeah, all my staff are actually fantastic without them, and my helpers like on the weekends.
Yep. You got a few of those?
Yep. We've got Rob, he comes in, he's like our fix-it man, fence breaks during the week, whatever, he comes and does it. And my mum, she comes on a Saturday morning and does boxes. Dad, he'll come and drive, but he only likes driving fast, but I don't know why that is. He'll come in and have a drive. And Sue, Dad's wife, she's a really good help race night, or mornings we're a bit flat out, she'll come and gear some up for us. So yeah, fantastic.
New York Minute was the horse that got you past 200 wins. Mm-hmm. Did that come up really quickly? Were you surprised you got there that quickly?
Yeah, because it didn't seem that long ago we got 100. So no, definitely. Yeah.
Pretty cool to have that horse achieve that as
Definitely.
well. And when you consider the female, I'm not going to say renaissance, but the Junior Driver Series for a start, the last 4 years, the ability of Natalie Rasmussen and Nina Hope and Catherine Butt before them, Michelle Wallace, Nikki Chilcott, these are all flag bearers, and you're, I'm not going to say chasing them down, but you're starting to get up there. So it's fantastic, Probably doesn't sit that well sitting here talking about yourself in that light, but the results, Arna, are telling us that you're getting there.
You sort of, I guess you never really think about it, do you? So, just lucky to have good horses and good staff and good owners, like fantastic owners, and it's a big team effort, it's not just me, because without all those guys at work, we're nothing. And they put a lot of time and effort in, and they go the extra mile all the time, and you can't ask for too much more than that. So we are a good team. We work well. There's a lot of banter. There's always pretty good times. Most of the banter's at Alicia, who we call Bubbles. So she cops a bit, but she's really good. And it's just a good environment to be in, I think, and I think the horses enjoy that too.
Arna, not so much in the horses we've been talking about in the last season, maybe a couple of seasons. You've often got other people's horses. This year you were able to go to the yearling sales and find some for yourself. That in itself must have been satisfying. Oh,
definitely. Like even the last 2 years, I had a new client approach me, and he bought 3 horses. First time owner for me, and that's been fantastic. So we're just getting a couple of those to the trials now, and then this year, managed to secure 3 as well. So took Mum into a trotter, so that was good. Then Tommy Heppenstall, he's brought one, and some other owners have brought a Captain Treacherous. So yeah, we've had it. It was really good, really nice to be able to go and spend up.
Dad break them in?
Yeah, I had to book them in early. No, he did a bloody good job too.
And they've had another prep?
Yeah, they've actually just had another prep, and they've all gone for a spell. The Captain Treacherous looks like he might be another double delight. He just won't pace. So
right.
But he's actually not a bad wee trotter. So fingers crossed. So they went there and tending to buy a pacer, but they may have come away with a trotter. We'll just see what he does next time in.
Yep. What's your attitude when you go to the yearling sales? Are you a page person? Are you a type person? Do you combine both? What do you look for?
Probably a little bit of both. I think type, looking at one, if one catches your eye, or then a little bit of pedigree, and then obviously price, the old dollar sign comes into it, and it's a little bit of quite a lot of homework, obviously, but yeah, a bit of both. Yeah.
Arna, the training game's changed so much. Social media's become such a big part of it. You've embraced that via Facebook and obviously your own website. How important is all of that, particularly to your stable and these new owners that you're bringing in?
Oh, it's 100%, the thing, the communication, not just the social media, but also the people that don't have, don't have access to Facebook or aren't on that sort of thing. Just the emails and the phone calls, and it's a full-time job in itself, actually.
Do you take care of most of that yourself?
Most of that I do. Ange, one of the girls, works for me. She does a lot of syndicate updates. We've actually just joined my stable in the last month, 6 weeks, and that's been fantastic. They get videos, and that goes to every single person in a syndicate, which is awesome. So you don't have to come home and then put all the names in, and it's just one hit of a button and it's off. So it's been a really good tool. Yeah, but I think the communication is as important as training the horse.
What about the future for Arna Donnelly? Okay, you said before you are a little bit of a goal seeker, if you like. So this year you've got close to 40. I guess the next season we should be looking beyond that, and Group 1 success, I'd imagine, high up there too.
Yeah, that's right up there. Yep. No, Group 1 would just be the pinnacle, really. It'd be really what we're after. And if we can get up to 42, 43 wins maybe, don't want to go too high. But I think we've sort of got the stock that we can do it. Like, we've got a lot of horses there, and a lot of young ones coming through. So that would be the ideal next season.
And a bit of expectation around these 4-year-olds, given that basically they hadn't raced until they were 4. So there's got to be a lot to look forward to with New York Minute, Kango, Typo, and any up-and-comers that you might have in the barn.
Oh, definitely, yep. So I think there'll sort of be a trip south on the cards for most of them.
Have there been some challenges with them with regard to, I suppose, people wanting to buy them, because they are very much saleable commodities? You need them though to fly the flag, but you also probably need the money from the sales too.
Yeah,
it's a fine
it's a
line.
catch-22.
Yep.
There have been a lot of phone calls for all 3 horses.
Yep.
And all the owners have said no, they want to race them, and that's fantastic for me and good for the game. We need these horses here in New Zealand, and that's a problem. Like, majority of them get sold, and that stuff's our handicapping system and our horse racing population. So I'm really fortunate that these guys have wanted to keep them. You know, Kango, for example, he's turned down pretty good money for him, and he said to me, he says, I've got, I think Bruce is about 80, early 80s, and he said to me, I've got 6 daughters. He said, this is my son. So I thought that was a good way of looking at it, you know. So awesome.
Which is magic for you, because you know, like I say, you need that flagship type horse, but you've developed this horse, and I'm sure you're close with all your horses, but your star horse is probably even more so.
Oh no, they all get treated pretty much the same, you know. I think it's important to know every horse and know what they like and keep them happy. But yeah, like obviously coming up to the big races, they might get an extra massage or something, but I don't know if it helps or not. But we you know, if you put in 110, then hopefully you get that back out.
What is the weekly routine for Arna Donnelly? What sort of hours are you keeping, and how does your day pan out?
They're pretty long hours at the moment. So sort of, because we've got a lot of boxed at the moment because it's so wet. To sort of start about 5, get them fed and boxes flick through, and then on the track about 6. We've got lights on down there, and it's still a little bit dark, so we're just a bit picky on which horses we go out first. Get through the morning, and then straight back here to feed out. There's sort of 25 odd here.
Yep.
By the time you've done that, it's straight back to work, and whatever other jobs you've got on, shoeing and bringing them in for the night. So they're fairly long hours, but they're on days like this it's hard yakka, but on a good day it's really good. And it's nice coming out home to feed those horses. It's a little bit of time out from the barn, and it's good probably thinking time, and it's really peaceful down the back there, and you know, I enjoy it. So. Yeah,
you love it, don't you? You love the game overall, regardless of success. This is your go, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. It definitely is. You know, I do, and I love the horses and love the game and the people, and it's good. You know, couldn't wish for a better lifestyle, really.
Hey, really appreciate you taking the time out and having a chat. Congratulations on the way things have been going. You've certainly made a huge impression on a lot of people, and long may that continue.
Thanks very much.